Oh, excuse me. Hi, boys and girls. I'm Laura, the library lady, and I'm just playing with my Lego train car. It was left here by my little nephews. Isn't it cute? Has number 2 on it. If you like trains, you're like many people who love trains. Trains help us get from one place to another, and they used to be the major mode of transportation here in the United States between the East Coast, where New York is, and the West Coast, going all the way to California. So, this week, and welcome to our 4th week together, I'm going to be talking about unusual books, meaning books that are made out of unusual materials or in different sizes or have a special feature of some type. So this is the first book for this week, and this is a cloth book. And it also has lots of pictures, so you know it's also what, boys and girls? If you said picture book, you're correct. So this cloth picture book is about Thomas the Train. Thomas the Train is very famous. He has many books and he has a number of TV shows that you can watch as well. But make sure you ask your parents. Why do I like cloth books? They're soft. You can touch them. You can even use them as a pillow. And if you spill something on them, nothing tears. Your mother or father could put them in the washing machine or wash them by hand and hang them to dry, and they'll be as good as new. This is my backyard. Welcome to my backyard. I don't have anything but this little train in my backyard, but I have lots of gardens and things in my garden. So this is called Thomas the Tank Engine Says Goodnight, and it's based on the Railway series by Rev W. Awdry. Now, boys and girls, when we have books, we also have to talk about who publishes the book. This book was copyrighted in 1990 by William Hinman Limited. Okay, night is coming. Thomas is taking people home. And this is Thomas the Train. He's taking people home. Boys and girls, have you been on a train before? And do your parents take a train or a subway to get to work? Maybe. I don't, I drive. The sun goes down. And we look here and we see people getting off the train. Okay? And I turn and it says, the sun goes down and the sky gets dark. I missed that part. So next page it says, soon lights shine in the windows and stars shine in the sky. So we see this night scene. Okay? And the next page reads, Thomas and his friends go home too. So I don't know if you've ever been to a train station, boys and girls, but that's a place where people take trains to get off trains, and they have places where they keep trains when they're not being used. It's usually called a train yard. Oop, sorry, boys and girls, that was just a beat. I'm fine. I don't do good with bugs. Okay, and then it says, Thomas the Tank Engine says goodnight. And you see the tank engine, and you see all of the other trains and the train engineer. Okay? All right, so this is a very short book, and it's a cloth book. And the objective for today's talk is, how do we get from one place to another? If you hear something in the background, I live near the airport. There's the airplane flying above my head. And there's cars, and there's bees, and there's birds. So we walk, we can ride our bike, we can take a car, a train, a Uber, a Lyft, and there's all kind of ways to get from one place to another. So talk to your mom and dad and ask them about, hey, mom, dad, how do we get around? What do we know about trains? Boys and girls, there's a wonderful train museum in Baltimore called the B&O. If you haven't been there, it's a great place to visit once the stay-at-home order ends. Also, did you know that trains helped us establish our time zones? Because it's one time in Eastern time zone, it's another in Central, but did you know that the train had to run on a schedule? So it helped the United States establish our time zones. Also, there's a lot of history with trains. Have you ever heard of a Gandhi dancer? Those are the people who help make the train track straight. and then we had a lot of people from the country of China come here and work in the railroad as well. And we had to change our whole way of thinking. Remember, trains were used before we had automobiles. And how did we get around before trains? By buggy and horses, which is okay, but trains were a lot safer, more efficient. But a lot of times when the trains came through, small towns changed as well. So the trains really changed America as we know it, as we used to know it. And we have a new way of getting around even today. We're taking subways, we're taking airplanes, as I mentioned before. Also, there were Pullman porters on trains. Those were African American men who worked, and they were essential to the civil rights movement. And A. Philip Randolph, for those older students, helped organize these men into a union, and later did the March on Washington that happened in Washington, D.C. in the 1960s. So there's a lot of history with trains. So boys and girls, if you've never been on a train before, or a trolley, there's a trolley museum in Montgomery County here in Maryland. Please go. And in Western Maryland and other places of the country, you can take trains that have a mystery ride and a children's ride. Trains are all kind of fun. That's all for today, girls and boys, and I'll have another specialty book tomorrow. Choo choo! Take care!